Okay, today I wanted to explain a little more about these guppies, and I found their true name. They're not an Endler guppy. They are a minimum subspecie guppy, and this particular guppy, they're very small. The subspecies are about half the size of an Endler. Now they're moving awful fast. I can't get a good look at the males. They're eating something. I put some food in there. If you look at some of the males there. Everybody used to have these guppies at one time in the 80s and the 70s and 80s. And I purchased some plants one day and from the pet store down the street in 1991. And I inadvertently got a colony of these wild guppies. So the first time I had heard Endler was a few months ago, and now that of course I got the smart TVs actually make you smarter because you learn more. Sit on the couch and learn. Now this is from Dutch. Well, it's from Denta Roachness Zebra, his channel on YouTube, and he has wild guppies from Peru. Now, they also look very similar to a lot of the wild guppies that are down in that area, and they're very small compared to today's everyday guppies. Now, you can see like this one female. This is a fancy guppy. She's quite large, that blonde one. And they are quite a bit larger. But I have thought I would give it another go at crossing them. So I set up this new tank right here. This little blue tank, and I have some of the very small ones in. Now again, just for comparison, this tank sitting here is today's fancy guppies. Although this one here, that male right there, looks almost like an Endler, one of them. I think, see, 10 years ago I tried to cross them, and something went wrong and most everybody died. Except for the fancy guppies I was left with. I tried to cross them. And so I thought, well, maybe there's some sort of disease or something, because that is what I had heard, because they suddenly all died out from around town. And about 10 years after I got the little wild colony, I was talking to the guy from the pet store who I know, and he said, no, they're all gone. He hasn't seen them since, and he wanted me to give him a colony back a little bit, and I still have to do that, and that was about 20 years ago. He said they all kind of just died out and disappeared. Not sure what happened. Maybe they got bred in with the fancy guppies and all became fancy. All I know is that when I did try it about 10 years ago, these little tiny guppies, I don't know. Look at how tiny that male is compared to my fingernail. Okay, he's tiny, and he's fully grown, that male. And they are vicious little males. It's because they're small and they're colorful. Where did he go? There he is. Trying to follow him around. That's a fully grown little wild guppy. They call them wild guppies or minimum subspecie guppy. Now you see the two larger females. Those are half-grown juvenile fancy females, and they're only half-grown. I chose the smallest ones to put in with these wild guppies, as the wild guppies are so small. I did have a half-size fancy male. I put in the mix to see if he would breed with the female wild guppies, but the wild males chased him into that plant.